Hello, Tribute Band Central. Thank you so much for joining the channel today. We have another installment of my interview segments, and I am honored to have Aly McGuire with us. She is almost Taylor, and I was honored to attend her performance at Mad Life on June 8th, and I love the show. It was really good. And I invited her to be on the channel, and she graciously accepted. And so, welcome to the channel. How are you doing, Allie?
I am just so thrilled to be here. Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
That performance that you saw was you would never have known. It was our very first performance. That was our debut show.
Wow. Well, I can tell you, it absolutely didn't show. It was polished from start to finish.
Thank you. We have such an incredible team. I always want to put them first and just tell people this would not happen without the band and the management behind it. They are the face of this tribute band. So I'm very, very grateful, very honored you asked me to hop on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, let's start at the beginning. How did you become almost Taylor?
Okay, so I wanna be very clear. This whole thing started as a joke. One of my friends, I work for this company. They're called Enchanted Events. They're kind of my weekend gig when I'm not doing Taylor. They are North Georgia's premier character entertainment company. And one of the girls I worked with made a very funny remark to our manager and said, Allie looks just like Taylor Swift. We should do a Swift shoot, just like a photograph shoot. That's it. We don't even have the character. And they called me up and I said, okay, you don't understand how deeply ingrained Taylor Swift is in my life. I've been a fan since day one. Yes, I want to do this photo shoot for fun as a joke. We got a booking the next day.
Wow.
So they called me and they were like, so we know this wasn't in the plan. You're usually Elsa. Would you like to do Taylor? And I was like, you know what? That seems fun. So I did a 30-minute set with them. 2 weeks later, one of my friends from Enchanted sent me a link to this audition on Backstage because she does voiceover work. And she said, you have to audition for this. I know this company. This is Fusion Entertainment. You need to audition for this. And I was like, okay, like, sure. Sure. So I sent in an audition. Half an hour later, I was on the phone with Indy and had a contract at the end of the day. I mean,
Wow.
it was ridiculous. So again, this whole thing started as a joke.
Well,
Um, but yeah,
well,
that's how I ended up with Fusion was I auditioned. So yeah.
well, it's a match made in heaven because having seen the show, it's spot on. And I see a lot of tribute bands, and yep, you hit it right on. You bring back those memories. Every single bit of tribute bands that you need to be, you were there. You were there.
Thank you.
So
And I do want to go on a record, and she doesn't know I'm doing this. I want to credit my sister. She's my vocal coach. I am a classically trained vocalist, so that's Broadway, classic music, more operatic. When they asked me to do Taylor, I was like, she's pop based. So I called up my sister, and she has a degree in this, and she trained me every step of the way. So I want to give full credit to where credit is due to her for that vocal training.
very cool. So how long have you been singing?
So I grew up in musical theater. I have been on stage since elementary school, so that's plus 20 years of theater work. I always knew I wanted to do theater work. COVID kind of hit hard. We had to pull back from that. And I kind of fell away from it. I brought my very first, just for you, my very first performance. I was in Les Mis in 2013. I'm right there. That's me.
Wow.
I've been
Excellent.
there since elementary school, but that was my very first community performance, and that's what got me into theater. This was the love. I knew immediately that theater was the love of my life. And so my very first show, someone told me and my sister, they were like, "You guys are going to be on stage for the rest of your life, aren't you?" And I said, "My sister is. I don't know about me." Um, so yeah, that's kind of. I hope that answers your question well enough, but
No, no, perfect, perfect.
but yeah.
So you mentioned some of your support people and things. I wanted to give you a chance to introduce the folks in the band. You had a guitar
Yeah.
player, bass
So
player,
I've been doing
drum.
this for a year.
Okay.
I have been performing as Taylor. I started at Enchanted, got hooked up with Fusion, and they have been so gracious. They let me normally when you create a character, and this is very common in this industry, you link that character to that management company. You are not allowed to do, other things, and that's respectful. They were so gracious to me and let me work with Enchanted to build that foundation for a year as we were building the show. So I got to perform as Taylor leading up to that very first tribute show you saw. That's why it looks so polished as we've been doing this for a year. But I want to go on record. Like I am like so grateful to come on here and talk about them. This would not happen without my team. They are the backbone of this. Like I can stand there and look pretty, but if it was just me, you'd be hearing me sing for an hour and a half and there'd be no music. It wouldn't happen. So I do want to go ahead and talk about them. So first up is on guitar, we have Nate. He is one of my best friends. He's the fellow that you saw on guitar.
Okay.
I am just we've known each other for 10 years. I'm so grateful he's a part of the band. We have a second guitar for when he's not available. His name is Jake. I just met him for the first time. He's delightful. Drums and bass, that's Gabe and Thomas. These two boys came in just a few months ago and they've absolutely blown me away. They are so funny, so genuine, and so kind. And we just had this we bonded on the way there because we had a layover at the airport. And they are such wonderful young men, and I'm just so honored to work beside them. And then of course Caroline and Kira, and they are our stage managers. We alternate with them. If it's in Georgia, they both come. They are the costume and merch people. So Kira actually, I don't know if I told her this or not. I counted because I was watching playback and retraining vocals and okay, well, maybe that's it in time. She actually broke the Broadway world record for quick changes. So
Wow.
the national quick change that's identified as Sutton Foster and Millie, and it's an 8-second quick change. She hit 7.9,
Wow.
which
Wow.
is unheard of. Like so I want to go on record and say that, okay, Kira's amazing. So she actually gave us a 7.9 quick change, which is ridiculous. And then, of course, Roger, he is with KMA Management. He is the manager of our band. He's the one that gets us up and running. I'm sure you've heard of him. He is a staple in the music industry. And then Indy and Michelle from Fusion, they believed in us and they trusted us enough to bring the show to life. And I'm just so grateful for them. So yeah, that's my team.
Outstanding, outstanding. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the costume changes. Because how many are there? At least five or six?
12,
How many?
12.
12.
Well,
Wow.
and they're all under 30 seconds. Her best, like she crushed it. The best one was 7.9, which, that's Sutton Foster level quick change. That's ridiculous. They're amazing women. I have amazing women in my corner for quick changes.
Well, and I want to tell you, I have never seen Taylor Swift in person. So I brought my daughter along to kind of guide me a little bit. And I asked a couple of times, I said, how do the costumes match up? And she brought up pictures from the internet, and you were spot on.
Thank you.
They
So,
were right to the T.
Reputation. My mom made that costume, and you'd never know. It looks professionally made by, professional people. My mom has made half my costumes because she's a professional seamstress. And and here's the thing. Roger, my whole team makes fun of me because they're like, Allie, you need to lower your expectations. And I'm like, no, no. The costumes will be Taylor herself could wear them. And I'm so grateful that they work with me and they're like, all right, just let Allie do her thing. The costumes will look great. So they're so sweet to me. They and my nonsense.
Very cool. Very cool. So, what's your favorite song to perform during the set?
So this is kind of a double whammy. So kind of hang in there with me. I'm obsessed with the blend that we do from Don't Blame Me into Look What You Made Me Do. So we are one of the rare tribute bands that does that. And I looked at Roger and I was like, I'm not going on that stage without that transition. And he was like, you got it, ma'am. Again, they deal with such nonsense from me. Uh, it is, she doesn't do it on the album. She does it on, now I'm a diehard Swiftie, so Roger just truly trusted me when I was like, I need this to happen. Um, that transition, I remember seeing it at the Eras Tour movie when the very first time I saw the movie, and I was like, we have to do that. She doesn't do it in the album, but we have to have that transition. And every time we perform it for people, people lose their absolute minds. They're like, finally, somebody did that transition. So that's my first favorite thing is seeing that people react to that transition. And the second is actually the acoustic set. because I actually arranged the acoustic on me on guitar. I arranged that set by myself. So I
Impressive.
obviously
Wow.
Taylor wrote it. I didn't write it, but I did arrange it and
Yeah.
I arranged the entire set. So I condensed four songs into one. Um, and it's just so fun seeing people's eyes light up because they're like, "Oh, she's singing Champagne Problems. I love this song." And then we transition into three different songs and they're like, "What?" That's I get chills thinking about it. It's my favorite part. So I was actually written to play on piano and I had to adapt it for guitar 2 weeks before the first show. And I was like, oh no, this is gonna be interesting. But we made it work. And that's the acoustic set is my absolute favorite because it's just when you play something like that, that's when the fans react to you. And it's no longer just, hi guys, I'm Ellie and I'm gonna be performing for you. It's an interactive experience where they're like, what song's gonna come next? I don't know.
And it was one of my favorite parts of the show.
Thank you.
It really was. You really connect with the audience. You're up there by yourself and you've got the guitar in it. It's really very, very good. So
Thank you.
so
Did you attend? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you attend the first show or the second show, the one or the four?
I was at the first show.
Okay, wonderful. So here's a fun story about the second show
Okay.
that you guys didn't get to see. The second show, my costume actually got put on inside out and backwards
Oh
for that
no.
set. Oh no, no, no. It became one of our best, like everybody was like, that was the best moment. And I got up there and I looked down and I was like, my costume's on backwards. And so I made the decision to sing the one in reverse. So I sang the whole song backwards, which is so much more difficult than singing it correctly. And everybody was like, that's not how you sing this song. Wait, what's going on? And then I got up there and I was like, you guys didn't know this, but my dress is on backwards. And to distract you, I sang the song backwards. And the whole place just, everybody laughed for 5 minutes. We had to stop this because we were laughing so hard.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
like,
That
that's the
is
fun about live theater.
well, and really that's Taylor. She would be that
Yeah.
she would be that quick on the cuff. So outstanding. I'm sorry we missed that.
I know, I'm
I
like, you missed it. I'm just kidding. Sorry. No.
oh, that's okay. That's okay.
It's a funny anecdote.
So, what would you say to your fans if you had more time? You'll get 20 seconds or so in between songs and you chit chat a little bit, but what would you say if you had a little bit more time to say to the fans?
First off, thank you for coming to our show and trusting us. Please come see me after the show. There is never a point where I'm like, I don't want to meet anybody. I want to meet every single one of you. The second is if you are coming to our show, I hope that it is a mental health brain break for you, something that I deeply believe in. I'm not only Taylor, I run a podcast and a social media influence area called the How's Your Heart team, and that's kind of my where I'm coming in and like Taylor has done a lot for me over the years. She is one of the reasons that I got my mental health under control, and she's one of the reasons, where I am just a human advocate for making sure that your heart is okay and making sure that your mind is at peace. So when you come to our shows, I want you to feel like family. So if I could say anything to them, it's how's your heart? How are you doing? I want to know how you're doing. And so that's something if I wish I could spend 50 minutes with them, that's what I would say to them.
Outstanding. Outstanding. So, do you do any original music? Do you write your
Yes,
own?
I actually do. So I've kind of pushed it down until the show launched because if I just put it up on YouTube right now, I was going to be like, who's this redheaded chick? Allie. Like I don't know who this is. So I kind of get a name for myself. I was like, hey guys, wait, I actually can't sing, I swear. Um, and it will be under Allie, and I'm hoping to get record some stuff with the band because they are just phenomenal. And I do a lot of my own original work. It's very indie. It's I would say more folklore, evermore
Hmm.
style versus the rest of Taylor's stuff, but that's my personal stuff. I've cultivated, that's a character that I do. Who is Allie underneath of it all? Who am I underneath it all? I never want to be like, that's Ashley. Okay, no, no, this is Allie. So yeah, I'm gonna start posting them on YouTube, the original covers, the original spoken word poetry that I do. And so it's just, yeah, so that's kind of what I do behind the scenes of Taylor.
Great. Well, certainly feel free to put links in the comments for any of our viewers so that they can find that when you are ready to go out. Because I know they would be interested. I would love to hear your stuff also. So that's excellent. So tell me, it really seemed like in the show, the younger part of the audience really liked giving the friendship bracelets. How many friendship bracelets do you get during a show?
That is my favorite part about Taylor. I come home with an average of 75 bracelets a night. Now, the
Oh,
other weekend, I will tell you, I came home with 185. I
wow.
I sound so I have a 3-year-old. If you ever give me a bracelet at a show, it will end up going to her unless I'm like, oh, that one's unique. I actually brought some that I think are really unique. But I'm like, she loves them. She's obsessed. She has a box for them and she'll take them out and show them to her friends. And she's 3 years old. Most kids get heirloom like rings and whatever. Like, no, my mom gave me a Taylor Swift bracelet. We counted it out how many we got last week. And she goes, wow, mom, that's the most bracelets you've ever brought home ever. And we keep every single one. Like, I want
Right.
the people to know we keep them. And if you give me art, it goes on my fridge as if you're my child. So we take very good care. Some of my favorites include like Travis Kelce, like they have
Oh.
footballs. This one is really unique. This is one of the first TTPD Tortured Poets ones I've seen. I love this one. I was like, you can't have that one, child. This one, oh my gosh, it was like in part of the acoustic set, I do the Who's Afraid of Little Me. That I was like, I have to keep you. And then All Too Well. Now, okay, here's a funny anecdote about our band. I actually came into it saying that we were going to do a 10-minute version of All Too Well. I don't know how familiar you are with that, but it's a big deal. And we got up there and our whole band was like, Aly, we cannot keep up with you doing that song. And I'm sitting there like, guys, it's important. And they were like, no, we cannot keep up. Her band members are drinking 3 energy drinks before they do that song. And so I had to relinquish it and it was fine. But yes, so that's a funny anecdote about I was like, all right, we'll replace it with Bad Blood, fine.
Well, and I can say there was a very nice super fan who came through the crowd before the show and was giving out friendship bracelets, and she gave me a Swifty Dad one.
Stop.
And so I have that, and I'm actually I'm working on a little collage with a picture of it with the tickets, and I'm gonna use that for some of my profile and some of our advertising or posting for this. So you will get to see it at some point. I'll get those pictures up. But yeah, it was such a pleasant surprise that, and she had one ready to go. And
That's very common. That's what the culture that Taylor has just built is okay, well, I'm gonna give you one. This is for you. You don't have to, you can be a stranger. And that's that community that she's built, I think. So that's
cool,
amazing.
cool. Well, let's go ahead and plug some of your upcoming shows. I know you're going to be in Texas, and I think is it Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania, I'll put
Hey,
up right
listen.
in a second for you. It's so good. We have so many shows. I got off the phone with management yesterday, and they said, "So hope you're not doing anything for the next, 1,000 weekends. We're we're getting fully booked." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." So we have a lot of things. We are going to be at Midland, Texas at the tailgate. We're going to be in Waco, Texas, Backyard Bar Stage. The Bartlett 4th of July Festival, we're going to be helping headline that. We have a ton of private events like Green Bay, Johns Creek, Georgia, and then, of course, Pennsylvania. And as far as I know, like, that's not even the updated list. I got off yesterday and they were like, don't plan anything. It went so well. Don't plan anything.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I
Yeah.
will put a link to your website in the
Yes.
comments.
And then with
So if you're
social,
watching this, just click on
yeah,
that and you'll have all the dates. So they're definitely out there. And I can tell you, I'm posting a little bit of a review and a montage of the show that I went to, and highly recommended.
thank
It
you
was
so much.
the younger crowd was dancing, the moms and aunts and grandmas were dancing. You were a big hit, and they loved every minute of it. I did too, and I'm at best I was a casual Taylor Swift fan. I would say I'm a moderate Swiftie now.
We
So
usually bring all of my bandmates. I'm a diehard Swiftie, like would die for this woman. And they came into this saying, we didn't know anything about her. Now we're like, Taylor. So, and of
cool.
course, my Instagram and TikTok are linked. It's just who's Shalissa underscore.
Okay. Yeah,
So
we'll get that up on the comment section also. And now, as kind of a new podcaster, I was told by a lot of people who've done this that you always have to ask one question that you ask to all your guests. And
yes.
so I came up with this one. So, do you attend tribute bands in your off time at all?
Yes, I'm huge into bands. My favorite is the 512 Selena Experience. If you have never seen, yeah, clearly you have. If you have never seen Kayla perform, she is a showstopper. She's my inspiration. I message with her all the time. She is my hero. So if you've never seen 512 The Selena Experience, please go see them. They're
Great, great.
stunning.
Well, Allie, I really appreciate your time today. It Almost Taylor is a great show, and to all my viewers and anyone who sees this, highly recommended. Get your tickets, get there. It is fun. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. That helps my channel. Like I said earlier, there'll be links in the comments so you can get all the information about the tour and the other things that Allie does because she has a lot of stuff out there. And I just can't thank you enough for taking some time out of your busy day. So thank
I
you,
can't
Allie.
do enough. Thank you so, so much.
All right. Tribute Band Central.